I'm not asking anyone to relate to this, but if you were born and raised in one of the most notoriously abusive cults in the world, if your mother raised not only you but a bunch of other kids in this cult on purpose, she thought it was God's highest will, right? But she's also responsible for the abuse of tens of thousands of children. Like, she literally wrote the manual on how to hurt children in this cult. Forgiveness is not exactly applicable here, okay? So I'm going to give you my perspective on what I feel is a very healthy, appropriate way to detach and release from toxic people. Now, let me say this clearly, okay? These are not like mommy issues or family drama. We're talking this level of intensity for context. And I'm not recommending other people make this same choice. I am simply explaining to you, to answer this question, the path I've chosen to heal. So I believe in the concept of release versus forgiveness for survivors of extreme childhood abuse and trauma. Release achieves the same or a very similar end result as forgiveness in terms of saying, not my guilt, not my shame, not my problem. However, it eliminates the turmoil that way too many survivors struggle with the whole forgive your abuser concept. Now, I'm not even going to go biblical. I've done that a few times. You can watch my videos. I can dispute that according to the Bible, but let's just talk logic and secular, okay? Because actually, I'm not a Christian. There's no wrong or right way to heal. So anyone who's trying to pressure you into healing, let's skip all that, okay? Let's go to some reality. Forgiveness is a personal choice. Release is also about boundaries and not carrying that toxicity or the shame and the guilt and all the things that make you angry inside. That was ultimately my end goal, okay? Now, again, religious people, forgiveness is up to God. So I'm saying leave that up to God. I'm talking about on the individual level, right? I have not had contact with my mother in over 10 years, and I am very much at peace about that. Again, recognizing that is not a normal situation to have with your mother. Also recognizing, unfortunately, my mother is not an ideal mother. I'm thankful for my dark humor and my sarcasm as to how I can explain this. But I'm going to give you an example that I gave recently to another peer of mine who was struggling with like how to deal with her dad. She was born and raised in the same cult. And the point is, like, her dad was definitely an abuser as well. So she's struggling with that now as an adult. All right, here's the analogy I gave her. We were randomly sitting on a floor and there was a chair there. And I was like, look, I can want this chair to be my mom to hug me back, but this is just a chair. This chair's never gonna be a mom. So you and I deserve better, safe, healthy parents. Unfortunately, some of us got a chair, all right? Now, I can sit here and struggle and cry and pray for the rest of my life wanting this chair to hug me back. Or I can accept that it's just a chair and it is incapable of hugging me back, much less loving me, much less being motherly, okay? This silly analogy might help some people compute the fact that some of us were not dealt the most ideal parents. Now, yes, we're so strong, that's great. Anyway, in dealing with them now, right,